changes. Turn and face the strange changes. Don't wanna be a richer man.
Hey there, movie nerds. Abby here.
Elliot here.
And Barack Obama on my shirt.
I don't have Barack Obama on my shirt. I have Glenn Hansard and Marquesa Irglova, and I would vote for them if I could. But the reason we're talking about that is today, the American people get to say something.
It's election day.
It is election day. And in honor of that, we bring you a movie that has absolutely nothing to do with elections.
But it's quite politically charged.
Quite politically charged. So Abby and I are here today to talk about the movie Changeling, which is the new... did I say that incorrectly?
No, you said it right. Changeling.
Changeling. Okay. Well, I just like to be thorough, especially on election day. I like to be thorough. But Changeling, which is the new Clint Eastwood offering, and it centers around the story of a woman named Christine Collins, played impeccably by Angelina Jolie, who, over the course of years, really searches for her long-lost son who was abducted one day while she was working at the phone company. And Abby, I was just blown away.
Yeah, definitely. She gives probably one of the best performances I've ever seen of hers, if not
I'd say,
the best.
Yeah, I would go to that point too.
Just really, really surprising and stunning. I think it's going to be kind of interesting if she gets nominated for Best Actress and wins for this. This will be the second time that she's won an Oscar for playing a mental patient. At least for part of it. She's not a mental patient for the entire part, but she is put into a mental hospital, which I think is kind of funny.
Absolutely. Well, apparently that's what the people are doing now to get Oscars. They have to go and play people who are committed to mental institutions.
Play crazy, but don't go the full retard.
Play crazy, but don't go full retard, as Kirk Lazarus would tell us from Tropic Thunder. But, on top of Jolie's amazing performance, this is a really, really well-written script, folks. This is absolutely top to bottom a great piece of storytelling, an infuriating piece of storytelling, because it talks about a real-life instance that happened in the 1920s with the Los Angeles Police Department, when it was basically... a den of corruption that just had everybody wear badges.
Funnily enough, my roommate actually was complaining about, she's not here,
She's
actually.
not here.
My third roommate, who isn't in the room at the moment, was complaining yesterday about profiling by the LAPD. So apparently they still kind of
old habits die hard.
Yeah. But anyway, it's, a very good movie. Kind of a disturbing movie in parts. Very, very gritty. And the fact that this deals with the disappearance of a child, the loss of a child, is... Children, plural, is bad enough. But later you find out the underlying crime that was the fate of these children. And I'm not going to give anything away, but just be prepared to look at your feet, because it's not easy to watch by any stretch of the imagination.
It's not easy to watch, and yet I found myself very pleased and convinced with the way that Spielberg dealt... Why did I say...
Whoa!
He was that good! Whoa! He was that good. Let me tell you. Eastwood was that good. I went there. So sue me. Must be a Jewish thing. But Eastwood was really that good in portraying this story and also communicating the ideas without being too overly grotesque about it. He is able to push you to a point where you are uncomfortable with the story, as you should be, but he doesn't take it to a point where it ceases to have taste.
Right, yeah. It's very gracefully and necessarily done, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think you'll see, I think Eastwood has developed a real definite sense of style that you'll see over a lot of the course of his movies. And I think they tend to be, I think we talked about this, gritty in an artfully done sense. So basically it's classy big cinema, but with a bite. And you get that feeling here as well. It's very richly photographed, very well acted, very strongly put together. But it also has a very hard edge that you feel.
Which really helps, because, I feel like all the big, glitzy studio films that don't have bite, I just sort of feel numbed. I just don't feel anything. I can't really be provoked to feel anything. But, in the instances of Eastwood... you've got not only a story that is broadscaping and polished, but you've also got something that really does hit home. It really does impact you.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing that we must talk about is the wonderful performance of one Mr. John Malkovich. Malkovich playing a minister who comes to the aid of Jolie's character in the search for her son is absolutely flawless, I think. He's so understated in playing this man who's dedicated his life to, ministering the word and also to basically shedding light on all the shortcomings and corrupt dealings of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Mm-hmm. He's for any of you who have seen Burn After Reading, and by the way, I feel sorry for you if you have. This
I'm I dodged that bullet. So
yeah, well, lucky you.
Yes, lucky me.
This Malkovich performance is the anti-Osborne Cox. He is controlled. He is thoughtful. He is intelligent. He's the kind of person that you would want on your side in a fight, just because he knows exactly what to do.
By sheer determination and grace, actually. Mm-hmm. Which is another thing, is the fact that he's never, I don't feel as though Malkovich has ever had material like this to delve into and dig into. It's pretty much just been sort of surface stuff with a few occasional outbursts of Malkovich, which he actually does say his own name. Exactly. Yeah. He's never really had much room to actually bust out his chops in such a understated way. I think he does so beautifully here.
Definitely. An interesting point, though. I know he's supposed to be a minister, but we never actually see him reading from the Bible, which I thought was a little odd.
No, we don't. But you know what? Back then, they had, radio microphones on the pulpit there, and they broadcast to the people the word, and the word of the day was corruption.
Yep, sure was.
So, honestly, folks, it's getting to be that time where, the great Oscar engine is rolling out of the station, and this is, I think, probably one of the first instances of this year where this is so clearly a contender. It really is. We've seen magnificent performances and directorial efforts up to this point, but at the same time, this just has For Your Consideration written all over it.
You're going to be hearing about this one until you are sick of it, but don't get sick of it. Go see it because it's really, really good.
Go see it before you get sick of it. That way, you can't let that impact your decision.
Absolutely. So we are the two awesome movie nerds, Elliot and Abby. Go forth and watch, and please do tell us what you think.
Go forth and watch.